ask me on a more business perspective, I will call the phase kernel to be the crux. So this is more like Activate-based phase kernel, as we all know, SAP Activate methodology, driven by different phases, and each phase having its own subphases. And underneath that, you could have different tasks. And to me, the phase kernel is the heart of the entire KTern application because everything gets orchestrated from here on. Uh, because when I say it is Activate based, it isn't just more like having it from the roadmap viewer, but if you launch a task, the platform will be able to come up with knowledge based material about finding out different resources or links related to that task. And it is more like SAP's World Wide Web, where you'll be having different supporting documents or articles against a single subphase or a work package so that you can utilize the best practices which SAP recommends in terms of PDF, in terms of Excel templates, which SAP suggests usually as part of roadmap viewer. So that's what the knowledge base engine takes care of. And it is possible for different system integrators to have their own knowledge engine specific to their organization based project. So that way, the delivery excellence or agility in terms of how to go about doing a task and which particular uh, asset to look at or which particular link to go into is all handled so that the execution team or the consultant team just find it very seamless in terms of executing it, and also the PMO team, not to mention about that. So that's about the phase kernel which I wanted to cover. So whatever you load as part of your phase kernel is what is reflected in here. As part of your whatever you load as part of your timeline is what is reflected here. So different phase, different work package, and then a task. And everything has a landing page. So if I open up a task, it reveals me much more information about that task item, like what is the task, the description of it, the status of it, and what is the priority to it, the owner or the participants. So it's much like adding any users I want to add. Now,
Mhm.
there might be a question about how are the users coming up here. So the product has got its user management engine. So what we recommend is usually that uh, the customers to also be invited as part of the project plan. And if you do that, you just have a complete collaboration happening, and the I mean the outcomes are tremendous. So it's much like how you invite any user as part of anything. Just give their email, give the role they want, and you can also control the authorization, the roles, etc., so that different users have different controls in terms of what they do within the platform. So that gets handled, and you have the users loaded up here. So that's exactly how we allow users to be added, and the users who get invited or who accept the invite come in as part of the user management engine. So from there, the dates which you have given as part of your project plan and the references. This is something interesting. I'll come to this very soon. And any kind of discussions you have for a single task can be handled within this particular task item. So any chat related discussions you have with your fellow consultant, with your fellow peer, or your customer project manager, or your BPO, or your SMEs can be handled within this one single section called as discussions. So anything related to this item stays here, and there isn't much confusions across mail threads, teams conversations, etc. So that is something which we have found to be a hit among our
Mm.
trial users, because we find we find people to be fascinated about recalling the conversations just by opening up this particular task and finding it right here. So then comes the history, because we are on an enterprise lump sum based project. The history and the audit trial is critical. So we have the history tracking in terms of what was changed, when was changed, and how it was changed, etc. I'll be able to show a live use case. This is more a demo, which is why you see it all empty. And files. So mostly in terms of SAP's Activate, anything and everything ends up in a deliverable, mostly a file. So you can upload a file against a task, and have it as part of the platform. And I'll show you how it can roll up as part of your document management. And then comes your wiki or notes. So let's say you want to have an image or have some Excel like data added up, you can just do it and have it as part of this task, and it just remains as part of this task. And that's about how, from the start of a project, where we connect to a system and get more recommended task items, and where you plan your timeline, you assign people to it, you invite people to the project, and have them all in one single place so that the consultants have the list of tasks they have to do, how they have to do, and whatever they discuss, it stays there, and whatever files they generate just stays here. So that's about the task.